So this is the so-called Mother Goddess, the primordial, the first one, and it's called Venus. So um, these figures are representations of the primordial mother and were carved to be held, carried, or worn. So also this is, the figures are for offerings, charms, used in rituals connected to birth and death. Everything is about this, technically. Let's see. So you can pause the video and read through this history. One of the oldest known ceramic figures, um, 29,000 BCE. Who knows? Okay. Okay, mother myths originated with a primordial being that represents chaos. So I remember something that's related to chaos at the beginning. She tried to create beings like God, but she ended up created all sorts of monsters. Um, and that's why, and then like it's chaotic, making this void space called Earth at the time. And so, like the New Age, they created stories say she is representing what uh, intelligence or smart, something like that, right? I forgot that very word. So they, of course, they glamorize themselves, but technically she represents chaos. This may be a goddess or an androgynous being that gets split up to create the universe. Everything is androgynous to them, so who knows? Uh, they really are an androgynous being, or they just have like psychotic breakdown and have split personalities and just call themselves androgynous because they at the state that they have mental disorder. They don't have they don't have brain and whatever, but like they have, just say, um, easier to understand is they have mental breakdown and they become psychotic, right? Psychopath, to become a psychopath and have mental disorder, and they consider sex is a ritual, so they like have sex with pretty much everything that moves. So who they technically has no boundary of that, so they are not male or female anymore. They are just monster, you know. Their early mother goddess figures contained the whole cycle of life and death within one symbol. Later, they evolved into the double goddess figures introduced in the Gemini post, which later still would be split into light and dark goddesses like Inanna and this, I don't know. So, like I said, at first it's one, right? Then she split into two. double. And everything is double. But why is split into double? Now you want to become one now. Isn't it like they're BSing themselves? Now they want to become one. At the earliest stage, they want one split into two. It's just like drama kings and drama queens. Okay, so in India, primordial force behind existence is Shakti, who is embodied as various goddesses, but they are all manifestations of the one great mother. The eternal limitless power. Create and destroy the universe. Maya, the illusion behind this reality, is manifested by her smile. That's why smile. Why they have smile everywhere? Because it's manifested by her smile. Now we know the origin of smiley face emoji, and why it represents darkness, represent death, represent destruction, chaos. It's fake, which means, right? It's the mighty Kali, Black Mother. So you can pause this to read, read this through yourself, because it's obvious, they created these stories, right? And make themselves look like all like high places and glamorous and like powerful and stuff like that. So in Suma, the oldest primeval goddess of the sea is Lemu, goddess of the sea. Nemu, lady of the beginning. And in Egypt, the primal mother is Mut, who is associated with the waters, again, water, from which everything is created. World Mother, Queen of the Goddesses, Lady of Heaven, Mother of the Gods, and she who gives birth but was herself not born of any. So right here, this long sentence, not sentence, long phrase, she who gives birth, it's like, Harry Potter, what, who, like, you're not supposed to name that, say that name, right? So you know who, like, this is borrowed from here. So technically, Harry Potter is describing themselves, and they didn't create that being is not a she. That being didn't write that story. Is about them. Just everything is not about creativity. It's not about art. It's they just use their own stories, life stories, to elaborate into different styles, right? So later she gained a consort in the form of Amu, the hidden one. She has more than one consort. What are you talking about? That's like anyway, Amun. Another early goddess said to be the first and prime creator is Nave. Boo. Okay. Water again, primordial waters. Grandmother of the other god is the guardian of the mysteries of life. Anyway, so they just create so many names for themselves, because God created a lot of names for different she is it? Oh yeah, Enoch has like 70 something names, so they copy God, like they create like many names but for themselves alone. So that's why it's it sounds so confusing, right? Because okay, in it, Suma is like this Namu, and then all of a sudden in Egypt it's Mut, and then like now it's called this, and in India called Shati, and then like later it's called like Kali. So they just create so many names for themselves. So each like being like have at least 50 names, like Satan, right? Saint, like Santa Claus, and then Jack, Harry Potter, and what's like Harry, um, what else? Like they have so many names for one being. And ultimate Egyptian mother goddess is Isis, greatness, creatures of green things, lady of abundance. Her consort, her brother Osiris, god of the underworld, and together they embody the mysteries of the cycle of life and death. Isis, so create creatures of the pharaohs who were called sons of Isis because they were embodiments of her son Horus. And then in Greece, Primo mother goddess is Gaia, which is the new age called Gaia. Um, so the dark side of the mother. So I guess the dark side of the moon maybe is like translate into the dark side of the mother. The mother demands recognition and honoring of the natural cycles of life, death, and renewal, but she can also become a menace. The dark side of Cancer is the terrible mother who smothers in the name of protection and security to pull you back into unconsciousness and must be overcome. Okay, so the ancient mothers were overthrown by sun gods and heroes. The birth of the ego. In Babylonia, the great mother of the gods, lady of primeval chaos, was Tiamat. So later version Sumerian is Namu. Um, she was a dragon goddess of the sea. Again, dragon of the sea. Let's see. So you can pause this and read through this yourself. Enki, son of Enki. So this is that goddess. They kill her. Anyway, Tiamat getting herself done in by Murdoch. Hydra. Hercules did battle with the Hydra again during the fight. So the crab is here the archaic Cancer for whom motherhood is all, and for whom the father is merely the provider of the seed. So that's the story. You can pause this video to read through this. The Dark Mother isn't always monstrous. Sometimes she's just a bit overbearing. Anyway, so manipulative, controlling in an effort to, I don't think it's protection, it's just manipulative and controlling. That's it, period. Emotion and pain of life. The meaning of Cancer. Cancer is attuned to the source of life, which is both creative and destructive. This is the primordial chaos symbolized by Ouroboros, the serpent that eats its own tail in the form of the Dark Mother is what you have to escape, but is also what you must return to at a higher level as the divine, again, feminine. So Cancer could be translated into Ouroboros then. So remember that stupid iPad Go 2? That's a scene, all the tanks lighting up one by one, and then that little girl waving the white flag, and on the ground it's like I think it's a moonlight. The light looks like a yin yang sign on the ground. Then it transforms into only like the light, and then in the middle the spot is dark shadow spot, right? So yin yang sign I think is representing Gemini. Then it transforms into only one spot of light, and then in the middle of that light is the shadow spot, right? So I think it's from Gemini to Cancer. So it's like the right now, next week, and so the light with one spot in the middle is like associated with Freemason, and then they say it's the symbol of sun. So the sun god is coming back. It's I don't know. That's what I'm reading into it. It's like that, like that Gemini is yin yang sign, then it's the transition from Gemini to Cancer. So once the sun leaves Gemini is the Cancer, right? So it's the flooding which means the birthing. Finally, the baby arrives. So that's the entrance from heaven to earth and from earth to hell, which is underworld, right? So Gemini is the gateway, the portal, deliver you to the entrance, which is the Cancer. I don't know. I probably wrong, but it looks like it here. This is the collective unconscious that contains all and unifies the opposites. It starts in an undifferentiated state of fission and chaos, but then splits itself into two in order to become conscious and know itself. See, it splits itself in two. So, which means the stupid primordial, so-called primordial mother, she splits herself in two, becomes what? Double goddesses. Cancer may resist that split and remain fused with the mother in an attempt to stay safe. But life will push you out of the nest sooner or later. You have to slay the terrible mother within your own psyche so you can know yourself as you truly are, as an expression of the divine and one with all life. Evolution of consciousness. Maybe later I will discuss this. Let me read this article first. If it's related to, you know, what it is, then I will discuss this. Anyway, Cancer may have a mother complex, but it's really a disguised version of this desire to reconnect with the divine, the feminine again. So, it's often projected into a tendency to look for someone or something that will take care of you and make you feel that you belong. But this search for emotional security and roots can only be found within. The key is to do it in the right direction, not back into regression, but forwards into the recognition of your inherent divine nature. So I think, isn't it like if you have feminine side, does it mean unbalanced, imbalanced, right? They just like, lying to themselves. You need to have masculine and feminine to be balanced, right? I don't understand why they say, whatever. The creative side of Cancer is the power to give birth to new ideas, visions, creative works, projects, companies, and families.